Hello everyone. It's James again. And if you are new here, thank you for giving this little cartoon man with a funny voice a bit of your time today. And for those that have been with me for years, I thank you from the bottom of my little cartoon heart. Today I want to get right into it, because I came across a news story that illustrates what we've been talking about for years, and more so what we were talking about here a couple of days ago, regarding the divide between men and women, and how it's being engineered by the societal narcissists. Because we know what we seen or witnessed in our narcissistic homes of origins is what we are seeing play out in society. It's just on a bigger stage with people we don't know. Because narcissists like to do two main things to those they deal with, amongst several other evil things. But those two main things is they either want to destroy you somehow and in the process play with you and your life, so they can gain narcissistic supply and satisfaction as they watch you struggle and squirm as your life gets wrecked. While others, they like to turn people into them. And they are masters at manipulating people into turning them into narcissists. Now this news story is so messed up, I don't want to even share the link. But I will let you know how you can find it if you want to. But trust me, even though it's a news story, it's really disturbing. But before we talk about the news story, how do narcissists try to turn you into them? Then we'll talk again about the divide amongst men and women and how it's been engineered. But let's take a situation that is universal that most people can ponder and see how this can happen. Let's say you are in a relationship with a narcissist, and they have you trapped. You are trapped by the property you own together, children that you might have together, and you know getting away from this person will be a nightmare. And they are mistreating you at every turn. And this goes on for years and years. And part of this mistreatment is they cheat on you over and over and over again. Then one day, you have the chance to cheat back. And you think, heck yeah, I'm going to get them back. You are now stooping to the narcissist's level by doing so. And this is actually oddly enough what the narcissist wants. You see, when the narcissist looks at you, they look at you as someone loving and kind and helpful. Someone genuine. And they want to mess you up so bad. So you no longer trust people. And so you are no longer helpful and kind. And so that clean and decent energy that you carry around that they and others can just sense about you will be gone. And they do it by brainwashing and abusing you so much, you literally lose yourself. And before you know it, you are now doing the same things the narcissist is doing. Then maybe that might slip into your work life, where you might backdoor someone to get a promotion. And then from there it just goes on and on. And somehow, some way, you are now living the life the narcissist always wanted you to live. And believe it or not, this is how some of the longer-term narcissistic relationships go. The victim as a survival mechanism adopts the narcissist's ways instead of leaving. And then becomes the very thing they can't stand. This is the same thing I talk about with in regards to warning women about so-called female best friends. And if you are currently dating or married to a good man that treats you well, please know, there are a lot of women out there that will work on you day and night. So you start to doubt your relationship with the man you love and the man that loves you. And it's not that hard these days, because the economy is terrible and most people are struggling. And all they have to do is say they got invited to a party or a nightclub where all of the pro basketball players are going to be at, while at the same time making this woman that is in a great relationship feel like she is somehow missing out on life and her boyfriend or husband isn't doing well enough or providing an exciting of enough life for her. And this scenario is super common. And before you know it, she's lying to her boyfriend or husband about where she will be going on that coming Friday or Saturday, because her friend is egging her on to do so. And then before you know it, She is out there at the club drinking and ingesting substances she shouldn't be. And before you know it, she's doing things with random men that just want to use her. All because they are rich and her so-called friend put it in her head she can somehow do better. When in reality, this so-called friend noticed the loving nature of this woman and the man she is with. And she wanted to see how easy it would be to ruin and completely rip apart this relationship these two people have. And to get this woman to lose who she is and become a narcissist and live the destructive pattern of meeting men solely for the purpose of money, gifts and parties. And getting addicted to the process of tricking and using people. You see, if the person isn't born a psychopath, there is usually an origin story. And even then, there have been many top doctors in this field that have shown that even those that have the markers in their brain of a psychopath doesn't always mean they will grow up to be a bad person. If they have love and kindness given to them as a child, they might be a pro-risk taker, where they might join the firefighter team. They will be a different kind of a person but will know how to experience love and kindness, while being fearless at the same time. So not always but usually there is some kind of origin story. Well, that brings me to the news story and the division between men and women. I mentioned a couple of days ago, where it depends on where you are located in the world. There is accepted narcissism from women to men, or men to women. If you live in a Western country, you can scream in a man's face, belittle him on national television and it's celebrated. But in other countries, it might be the men that are able to do what they want, and the women are stuck and have to take it. Either way it's wrong. But this is engineered by the societal narcissists. Well, if you live in a Western country, you will know going to the gym these days can be an interesting experience. There are people trying to literally film their workouts and will get mad if you are in their shot, when you are just trying to work out in peace. There are both women and men that I've noticed that do this toxic new trend. But one thing that seems to be mainly something a lot of the women that film at the gym do. Not all, but a lot. They will focus their camera on a man that is minding his own business, and that might harmlessly look their way. And they will create a YouTube or TikTok video or even use it as content for their OnlyFans, calling this innocent man a gym creep. And these videos have hundreds of millions of views, with millions of women making fun of someone's grandpa just trying to use the rowing machine in peace. And he happened to look up in the way of the camera, because he was probably wondering why the heck someone was pointing a camera at him. If a woman gets stuck under a weight she can't lift herself, when men come by to help, they label him as a stalker and a creep. So guess what has happened? The men have turned so cold and adopted the mindset of the narcissist of not caring. So much so, an innocent woman lost her life at a gym, simply because she needed help. And everyone that was there just simply walked by her. You see? And let me explain something. If you don't live in the US, let me paint a picture for you. If you go to the gym nowadays, and someone is acting up, or behaving weirdly, you don't know if it's a YouTube prank or someone is making content for their TikTok or OnlyFans to point you out to millions to make you look like a creep. And if it were 10 or 15 years ago before this trend was even a thing, you would see most people jump right in and help. Well, the narcissists sadly have gotten what they wanted. A great many people don't care anymore, so much so it's sick and sad. Are there still loving people in the world? Yes. But that number is getting smaller and smaller by the day. Because the narcissists are the ones infecting society with their ways and evil. Simply because they want others to stoop to their level and lose themselves in not caring and to lose themselves in a new narcissistic identity. So what happened in this news story? In a Las Vegas popular athletic club where people work out and use the pool to swim, a woman that was a member of that club was using the pool to get her exercise. And I want to just say, if you have health problems, pools are a great way to get exercise. But please, Get floaty safety devices you can put on your arms. In case you lose your strength or a medical situation happens. That way you will be able to remain afloat until someone can help you. Well, this woman was holding the sides and kicking her feet and moving up and down the side of the pool. She was overweight and it was said she had a heart condition. She grew tired and no longer had any strength. And she was at the step of the pool holding onto the railing. And couldn't pull herself up. So much so her feet and legs were pointing up towards the steps. And her back was to the water. As she held onto the railing. Now I don't know if she asked for help. But there was several people that walked right by her going in and out of the pool. Literally inches from her. And if I were to guess, she probably didn't want to make a scene and scream for help. And she might have wanted to get up herself. She was probably insecure about her weight issues and didn't want others to have to try to help her out of the pool. So she kept struggling. Until her feet kicked herself away from the steps and she drowned. And she was flat on her back underwater for almost 10 minutes before someone that was getting out of the other side of the pool noticed she wasn't moving. And jumped in after her. It's really hard to watch. And where the real evil comes into play is the person monitoring the security cameras to make sure no one is having issues or problems while in the pool. Tried to delete and erase the footage. Was it to escape being responsible, or was it even worse? Was it a true narcissist that enjoyed what they were watching? There was a news story a while back of an older woman crossing a bridge. And the woman that was operating the bridge opened the bridge anyways. And that's a case I need to look more at. But believe it or not, there are people in such positions will let someone lose their life. Because they are so sick and morbid they want to see it happen. And they will feel some sort of sense of satisfaction and joy by having a hand in letting the sad and sick events take place. Simply by not rendering aid. Now for those that passed her by. I think that is a symptom of the sickness of our culture. And they likely just didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to be a part of a TikTok video or YouTube prank. As men in the US, you are made to feel afraid to be helpful and kind. Because if you do, you might get sued or put on blast as a creep or weirdo. So this helpful trait in a lot of people is being bred out. Could they have been evil and all narcissists? Sure. But I think realistically they just didn't want to get involved because that's the new climate of our society. However, the person watching the cameras, I can't say what is going on there. But if I had any concerns about someone letting something bad happen on purpose, that's where I would look first. But I say all of this to say, this mess has gone too far. That's why I encourage the ladies especially to reject this mess. There are men that want to hold the door open for you. Or they would love to say hello. But they don't want to be put on your YouTube channel as a gym creep. But again, it's the narcissists that are setting this evil tone because we the loving people are letting them. And look at the consequences of letting that happen. People are losing their life. Because now, no one wants to get involved. And society and people as a result are becoming the very thing they never thought they would become. And that is a narcissist. Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.